Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So we're taking a look at LR, BABIDI, and Dabura here. They did get their EZA. I think that they're probably actually going to be pretty good, this BABIDI and Dabura. We'll see, but again, I think that they actually are going to look like they're going to be a pretty decent character. Now, in terms of what to go with for their potential build, this is a free-to-play support character, and their defensive mechanic is dodge. So I do think that just the good old full dodge build will work well. The thing that's nice is with the Whis event equips that I'm able to grind out. I do grind, quite often. I'm able to get, like, this is a good build. We got a lot of dodge, but, we have enough additional, especially if characters have a built-in additional, which this character does. When you got, like, 15, 16, 14 additional, and the character, again, has built-in additional, so you have a chance to proc it multiple times, you're going to get it pretty often. So this should work pretty well. Now, one thing to note is that this character does not have a 200% leader skill at the moment. Unfortunately, they only have a very few category teams here. They're on the Majin Buu Saga, Terrifying Conquerors, and Joined Forces are the only 3 category teams that we're on, unfortunately, here. A lot of people say, why aren't they on Majin Power? Because, Majin Power is, of course, actually like Buu. Like it's literally like Buu, right? And then, Oob is kind of like the reincarnation of Buu, and Android 21 kind of has like, she's like made from Buu, kind of. And then, of course, there's like Janembu, who's a fusion with Buu. So it's like, in order to be Majin Power, you have to be Majin Buu, which is why this character's not on there. I don't hate the fact that they support a category that they aren't on. But I guess I do wish that maybe if Dokkan knew they were going to do this, I do wish this character was on Fat Boost 200% at least. I mean, I think a lot of times people do kind of like set, like the 200% is definitely good for like a lot of your big characters, but like you could still run a character on a 170% and they're still going to be very effective. So let's go and hop into an event, see how they do. They do have a lot of buffs potentially from if the enemy is debuffed and stuff like that. So I don't think I'll go to the same old Evolution Blue Vegeta fight we usually go to. Instead, I'll go to a fight where we could debuff the enemies. Alright guys, we are here in an event. So I was looking through some of the Red Zone stages, some of the Supreme Battle Spectacle stages, and I landed on this Bio Broly stage. I figured that this could be pretty good in terms of using Mr. Buu to kind of debuff Bio Broly. And we could see BABIDI and Dabura be able to get higher stats, right? Because one big thing about BABIDI and Dabura is if the enemy is attack down, defensive down, stunned, or sealed, which, I mean, is at least reasonably common in a lot of tough fights currently in the game. As long as we have that ability up, then they're going to get an extra 6 key and 66% attack and defense when they attack. So that should work pretty good against, we'll just hit this guy right here. I actually don't know what the Bio Broly minions' names are. So keep in mind that BABIDI and Dabura here, they are supporting Majin Power category allies by 3 key and 30% attack and defense. And then an additional 10% attack and defense if they're extreme class. So it's a 40% buff. I think Mr. Buu is actually super class. But the rest of the team we're running is extreme class. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, let's just see what they do on this opening turn. So at 165k, they do get 88% defense on super. They're going to get the 66% defense because the enemy is going to be attack debuffed. Or defensive debuffed, which, what is the link set here? So our link set is Master of Magic. What is this? Majin Resurrection Plan? Yeah. Thirst for Conquest, obviously, is a good one. Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Legendary Power. Fear and Faith is something that if the enemy could be defensive debuffed, that would allow us to get the buff as well. I mean, they're... let's just see the turn, but they are a quirky unit, no doubt about it, right? Like, they're buffing a category they're not on. Their link set doesn't work well with the category they buff either. But they are now a 70% dodge character. 10 million? I mean, that's pretty good. They get a guaranteed additional super at 22 key as well. So there's that. There's the additional right there. All right, now hidden potential system. We do get. Okay, perfect. I mean, considering they're a 70% dodge character and they're supporting right there, I mean, they definitely look decent. We'll need to definitely look at them when we have no enemies around that could be debuffed. That's going to be important for us to see as well. But that was a decent kind of opening turn right there. They do a lot in terms of their super attack effects as well. Here, we'll just go ahead and get through this turn, and then we'll talk about all that. All right, we're probably not going to get to the mega super rare giant Bio Broly. I'm kind of intentionally holding back a little bit. We'll see how that goes. All right, we'll come back next turn for Babidi and Dabura. All right, guys, so here we have a second rotation. We, of course, do have Bio Broly debuffed by quite a bit. In terms of links, a lot of the time, I do think it's going to be difficult for us to be able to get a lot of these links, right? Like, we could get a pretty rare link, Master of Magic, alongside Mr. Boo, which I guess is pretty good. And that, of course, does have that defensive debuff ability, which if a lot of bosses can be defensive debuffed, and real bosses too, like, you know, Supreme Battle Spectacle Trunks. I think Babidi and Dabura is definitely a character I would bring into Supreme Battle Trunks now that I think about it. I haven't done the Fat Boo video in there, so we should try them. I will try them. Because, you know, again, they're 70% dodge. So let's actually just quickly take a look at their passive, just go over kind of like the basics of what they're doing. So they get 8 key and 188% attack and defense. Pretty good. 88% attack and defense on super. Also good. They get a guaranteed additional super when key is 22 or higher and there's a Boo Saga ally in the same turn. This is not going to be a problem only because the next line, they get 20% dodge per Boo Saga category ally in the turn, and then another 10% dodge when the whole, like all allies are Boo Saga. So, what that means is you might as well just only run this character if it's full Boo Saga. That's it. For a free-to-play character, I have no problemo whatsoever restricting them like that in exchange for them being good. And this character, to me, they do seem pretty good. Then they get 6 key, 66% attack and defense, and the 70% chance for attacks to be crits if the enemy's attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed. So there we go. They got built-in additionals, built-in dodge, built-in crit as a free-to-play character, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, so many characters do just have the full abilities built in. And then they give Majin Power category allies 3 key, 30% attack and defense. And then it's an extra 10% if they're extreme class as well. All right, so let's see. Not really having trouble so far getting the 22 key, right? Again, we'll just go into a fight against a boss that cannot be debuffed. Maybe just the typical Evolution Blue Vegeta showcase fight I usually use. Oh, good dodge right there. Yeah, he would have died. Oh my god, dude, this is what I get for running shitty Super Boo, man. We literally were dead right there. Thank you, Hidden Potential. Everyone say thank you, Dodge. Thank you, Hidden Potential System Dodge, of course. Bro, I turned my brain off for 2 seconds. Like, Boo. Dude, LR Super was such a fodder character, man. Get out of here. All right, there's that. Okay. Let's talk about the super attack effects for Babidi and Dabura. Nice. We got the Hidden Potential System super both times. Beautiful. So they're 18 key. They get 50% attack and defense, which is good. They do Meg Colossal damage to the enemy. They lower enemy defense and have a high chance to stun. This is going to be a good character for Cell Max, too, huh? I think they're going to be very good for the current meta. And then their 12 key super, they get 50% defense. They do colossal damage. They lower enemy attack, and they seal. Like, when I said they're good against Cell Max, no, they're more like elite against Cell Max, huh? Alright, let's just put Boo right there. Man, Babidi and Dabura, they got a nice little toolkit there. I mean, they're doing decent damage if the boss could be debuffed at all, and it's not 2023 anymore in that, you know, bosses are immune to everything. So now, like, we can actually utilize debuffs in a lot of very tough fights, which makes Babidi and Dabura better. They are a legitimate asset to Fat Boo's team. Certainly, I will never run Evil Boo unless it's a full Majin Power team. Not doing it, flat out. But if we're not running full Majin Power, I mean, that means we can run Hirudegarn, and we can get Babidi and Dabura. I feel like what I'm seeing, they look pretty good. Like, am I crazy? They look pretty good. Okay. Alright, we're going up against Bio Broly, the very rare version of Giant Bio Broly here. Well, the good news is this will allow us to see what Babidi and Dabura's stats are going to look like going up against a boss that cannot be debuffed, which I think is an important part of the showcase here. We will be able to have all 7 links activated, of course. I guess that maybe is a little uncommon. Alright, I'm going to rock Super Boo. Don't fail me, bruh. Can I get some guesses? Super Boo's going to clutch out. He did last turn with the dodge. He's not guarding, no. Alright, well. I mean, he did fine damage, I guess. I'll take it. Considering he's not, like, he's, you know. Yeah, he's now a year old, yeah. Alright, good damage by Super Boo. We got the Hidden Potential System additional right there, too. Still 12 million. Okay, because we're next to Babidi this time. So the 70% crit we don't have, but we still do have the guaranteed additional. They seem pretty good. Let's do one more run. Just start to finish against a boss that cannot be debuffed. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and get some more footage for Babidi and Dabura. Alright, we could hit this. Then we'll hit that. Not 24 key, but it is 22, which means we're going to go ahead and be able to get their, whatchamacallit. We are going to have Fear and Faith and Legendary Power active. Fear and Faith's not going to do anything. I mean, it'll give us key, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess it does allow us to get the 22 key, but the defensive debuff portion of it isn't doing anything against Vegeta. So let's see what they do right here. But again, they seem pretty good. They're going to support a lot of these Majin Power characters, right? Like, we're going to be running Mr. Boo. We're going to be running LR Buhan. We're going to be running Fat Boo. They're all going to get supported. And then, obviously, Buhan and Fat Boo, you know, they're going to get a little bit of extra stats. And in particular, 2 fights I haven't done yet in the World Tour. Damn, we're down to 6.8 right there. Okay. So it is a pretty big difference when there's no debuff applied. But, I mean, it's mostly just damage. Right? Like, it's like they get a lot of their damage from if the enemy is debuffed. Because they're still supporting, and they still have 70% dodge. Their defense will go down a little bit, but I don't think that this character is going to have very good defense to actually tank anyway. But, yeah, I probably will use them against both Fat Boo versus Cell Max and Fat Boo versus Trunks. I think Babidi and Dabura in both of those fights could be very effective. Because Babidi and Dabura, you know, especially they'll be able to do defensive debuffing, which will help against Trunks and his high defense, either through their links or through their 18-key super, which lowers his defense. And then, you know, their 70% dodge in case they would start out in slot 7, and their AGL, so they have type advantage over Trunks. And against Sword of Hope at the end, their 70% dodge, since it's very difficult to tank his normals. And then for Cell Max, dude, the Fat Boo versus Cell Max video, we're going to do that in one try. Like, it's just, with Buhan, this character, Fat Boo, it's going to take, like, one try. Alright, let's just get, like, one more rotation. To me, it's a free-to-play character, and I'm going to be very comfortable with them against Cell Max, dude. Like, that means something. I love to sit there and go, gimmick fight, But, like, I mean, the Cell Max fight is really hard, right? So, it's all good. Alright, yeah, let's get one more rotation of Babidi and Boo, and we'll finish up, but they seem like a really good free-to-play LR here. Alright, I guess this is the same rotation we had before, right? Or pretty much. But we can go ahead and take a look at this. I'll stay in Boo Tanks for another turn. We'll be able to go ahead and do this. And then I guess Babidi is supporting, and we are going to have all 7 links. Okay, yep, not bad. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about the LR, Babidi, and Dabura, but, I mean, we got to remember, this is a free-to-play character. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Okay. Sure. We'll let Bootanks go ahead and stack up. Really good thing, again, that Bootanks did come to Global when they did. Bootanks is just such an important piece to running any, like, Majin Buu characters. Just with, you know, the deep assortment of things he could do. Yeah, 12 million right there, okay. And then again, it's as long as we hit 22 key, they're going to get the guaranteed additional super. And they have all those different debuffs that they'll be able to apply. You know, defensive down, stun, seal, attack down. Like, between those 2 supers, they'll have a chance to apply, I mean, virtually everything. Yeah, because they lower defense, lower attack, they stun, they seal. They've got it all. So if the boss can be hit by anything, and you get both of their supers, you're going to tag them with something, which is really good. Alright, guys, so yeah, Babidi and Dabura, after their EZA, they seem like a fairly good character to me. I really like what we saw from them. Alright, so this is the Wicked Wizard and Lord of the Demon Realm, Babidi and Dabura, one of the 27 LR Babidis we have in the game. Leader skill is Majin Buu Saga, category key 3 and 150% of stats. 12 key super attack is the Evil Splash, which gives us 50% defense for 1 turn, colossal damage to the enemy, lowers enemy attack, and seals enemy super. The 18 key super is Babidi's Sinister Sorcery, which gives 50% attack and defense, mega colossal damage to the enemy, then a high chance to stun the enemy, and lowers enemy defense as well. Passive is Magic Power Control. They get 8 key and 188% attack and defense at the start of turn, then 88% attack and defense on super attack. Then they get a guaranteed additional super, well, when key is 22 or more, if there's another Buu Saga category ally attacking in the same turn. So with that, remember that we are going to be able to basically apply any debuff. Like, if the boss can be hit with any debuff, we'll be able to hit that with that. Because, you know, they'll be able to combo all the debuffs from both. So there's that. Then they get a 20% chance to dodge per Majin Buu Saga category ally in the same turn. And then they get an extra 10% dodge if all allies in the turn are Buu Saga. So, yeah, I mean, we could run a full Majin Power variant of Fat Buu's team. We could run full Buu Saga with this character. I mean, including running, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. No reason not to. And then, of course, we could just do kind of like a, you know, not use Skinny or Pure Evil Buu for full Majin Power, or Babidi and Dabura for full Buu Saga, and then open it up to other characters like Hirudegarn and stuff like that for Fat Buu's team. Then we get an extra 6 key, 66% attack and defense, and 70% chance to crit if the enemy is attack down, defensive down, stunned, or sealed. And then finally, they give Majin Power category allies 3 key, 30% attack and defense, and then an extra 10% attack and defense if they're extreme class. Links are Master of Magic, Majin Resurrection Plan, Thirst for Conquest, Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Legendary Power. 12 key multiplier is 150%, 24 key is 200%. And then finally, the categories for LR, Babidi, and Dabura right here. This is kind of like the biggest weakness of the character, I guess, is that they barely have teams. Buu Saga, this is pretty much where we've got to run them, of course. Then they're also on Terrifying Conquerors, though they're not really going to be very good on Terrifying Conquerors, unfortunately. Could be good for Frieza, but again, it's just like, you know, dude, look, so they dropped Frieza. Who needs Terrifying Conqueror characters? Chilled is, okay, like he's at least something helpful. Then Vegeta's a pure Saiyan, or Vegeta family buffer. And then Ginyu is a special pose character, right? Like just completely only on a special pose team. And then now we get Babidi and Dabura who need to be Buu Saga. And then finally they're on Join Forces. So there we go. Let me know what you guys think of EZA, LR, Babidi, and Dabura. But they seem to be a very, very good EZA character to me. I think we could run Fat Buu full Boo Saga against Cell Max and Trunks, Supreme Battle Spectacle Trunks. And I think they're going to perform super well, including buffing, like, Fat Boo and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch y'all next time.